Zach Wilson might have played his last game. All things being equal, Ocho, what they really hope would happen is that they could get 2 years, squeeze 2 years out of Aaron Rodgers, get Zach Wilson to sit for 2 years, see, and then bring him back. Yeah. But Aaron Rodgers got hurt the fourth play of the season. Mm-hmm. Zach Wilson got thrust back into the situation, and here we are. Check this out. Since the start of 2021, when Robert Saleh took over as head coach, the Jets are one of 2 teams that have thrown more interceptions than touchdown passes, along with the Carolina Panthers. Let that sink in, Ocho. Since 2021, they've thrown more interceptions than touchdown passes. One of 2 teams.
Okay. All right. I have a question for you.
I got an answer for you.
Yeah, I know you do. So the Jets, can you name the last time the Jets had a quarterback, an efficient quarterback at the helm?
You probably have to go back. They went to back-to-back AFC championship games, and I think, what was that, 08, 09, or 9 and 10 with the Jets with Mark Sanchez and Rex Ryan? And Rex Ryan.
Before Mark Sanchez, name another quarterback.
Probably Chad Pennington. Decent. I think Chad Pennington went to a couple of Pro Bowls with the Jets. In 98 in the AFC championship game. But if you're talking about really, the only Hall of Fame quarterback that they've had is Joe Namath. And Joe threw more interceptions than touchdown passes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't really think this is a Zach Wilson problem. I think the quarterbacks that have played for that organization and that franchise have always struggled. They've always been okay. So I'm not sure why. I understand why. I understand why Zach Wilson was benched. I'm still on the bandwagon. Sometimes the bandwagon ain't always going in the right direction. It doesn't go in the direction you want it to go, but that's a hill that I'm willing to die on, and will continue to support him from afar. I haven't even met Zach Wilson yet, and I ride a buddy like that's my homeboy. Like, that's my dog. It's just in me like that to always want to see everybody succeed, especially at the quarterback position.
Ocho, Ocho, just because you say somebody's not playing well, that doesn't mean you don't want them to succeed.
Right. Listen, if you read some of the goddamn comments on Twitter when I'm on Twitter, talking about Zach and the issues and the problems and the struggles of playing the quarterback position in New York, oh man, them people mean as hell, boy. The New York fans and the Philly fans might be neck and neck when it comes to insults. I've been called everything under the sun.
They look at Zach Wilson and he's not playing particularly well. Mm-hmm. Is that when they started winning, ain't nobody mentioned about the offensive line.
Right.
All they talked about was Zach playing good, Zach playing good. Yeah. Now all of a sudden when but here's the thing, Ocho, if you go back and look at some of the games that they lost, what was so different about this game? He's looked bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Robert Saleh tried to add frosting to poop and tried to make us say it's good. No, we saw you put frosting on the poop. We know what it is.
Right.
We know what Zach Wilson is. You can't dress it up no matter what you say. And because he kept saying it. And then what the telltale, when they asked him a question about Zach, he said, I plead the fifth.
Right. Listen, there are other
Ocho, that's your quarterback.
I got a question.
Somebody ask you, hey, Ocho, you love Rail? I plead the fifth. Rail gonna slap you and gonna pack up ish and get up out of there.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. There are 31 other teams, right?
Yeah.
Name another quarterback on the NFL roster right now that is a starter that can come on that Jets team and make a difference with what they had to work with offensively, starting with that offensive line. Tell me one quarterback in the NFL that will come there and all of a sudden it would just be a miraculous difference.
Well, I would like to think it all depends on who you got in there. Now, when you look at it, you brought Aaron Rodgers in there. You do know Aaron Rodgers behind that offensive line.
And where was Aaron Rodgers running for his life?
No, he wasn't.
Running for his life in that first.
He tore his Achilles. That was his fault. It was a 3-step drop. He looked to his right, and you know damn well on a 3-step drop.
It was a 3-step drop, and somebody was on his goddamn ass.
No, it was not, Ocho. Go back and look at the tape. He went to his right. He looked to his right on a 3-step drop. Can you work one side of the field and go to the other side? Yes or no?
No, you got to stay there. You got to stay wherever you lock in. You got to go because the ball got to come out your hands.
Okay, then. So that's what you saw. You saw it. I highlighted it. I came in on Tuesday and said it was a 3-step drop. Right. He looked to his right. It wasn't there. He tried to go all the way backside. Well, the guys on the offensive line, they trying to cut to get the guy's hand down. They're not engaging like they would say on a typical drop, a 5-step drop. Right. On a 3-step drop, the ball is coming out quick. It's either coming out as a quick out, a stop route, or a slant. Mm-hmm. So guys are trying to cut to get the hands down. So you mean to tell me Aaron Rodgers is going to come back to that? I'm asking you.
No, listen. You understand. I've seen it. I've watched it. Everyone else, everyone else in this chat has watched it. They've watched the offensive line. They've watched the struggles. They've watched it. So I'm trying to understand who else in the hell, if it just hypothetically speaking, would actually come and play quarterback for the Jets right now and think it would look any goddamn different.
Well, you can say that for a lot of teams. You can say that for Carolina. You can say that for a lot of teams, Ocho.
You see how Bryce look? Do you see how Bryce is looking? You see how he's looking? Every time he drop back, I feel bad for Bryce. Every time he drop back, he getting swallowed up. He gets swallowed up every time.
I don't believe Bryce will be looking like that. What year is this? This is year 3 for Zach or year 2? This is year 3. I don't believe in year 3 Bryce Young will be looking like this.
Right.
I don't.
Right. Okay.
I could be wrong. We'll see. Hopefully you and I still doing the show.
Yeah.
And we'll get an opportunity to see what Bryce Young is looking like in year 3. Yeah. But I said this last night. He's got to make a change. He don't have a choice.
Right. Yeah. I understand. I understand. I understand it as a receiver, as being part of an NFL team when things aren't going well, especially with the quarterback position and change needing to be made. Because there's one thing that I told you, but I think I forgot when I mentioned it maybe 2 shows ago. Players get coaches fired. Mm-hmm. Players can get coaches fired. Coaches can lose the locker room if changes are made. We saw that happen with the Raiders, and changes had to be made.
Yeah,
and it's an unfortunate situation for Zach. Zach, I know you're gonna see this, boy. I still love you. I'm still rocking with you. I'm still riding with you, man. Handle it like a professional, and when you get your opportunity again, make the most of it.
2 of my worst moments in my professional career is that I had 2 coaches fired on my watch. Coach Reeves in 1992, and Wade lost his job. And I always thought, had I been the player that I became earlier, could I have saved those guys their job? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I thank Coach Reeves for giving me the opportunity, but I wasn't the player early enough because I do believe I could have helped save his job. Now, whatever was transpiring with him and John, I don't know, and I don't really care to know. Because both of those guys helped me immensely in my career. Wade brought in Jim Fossil. Jim Fossil built his offense around me. But I just hate that I wasn't the player that I later became earlier because maybe I could have saved some guys. Maybe I could have saved their jobs. But I think Coach Reeves and his family know what I think of him. I see Wade all the time. Wade knows what I think of him. But that's probably 2 of my worst moments in my career, Ocho, is not being to have someone. It hurts to have someone lose their job on your watch. It should. Everybody like, hey, it happens. Players get cut, but that's not the way I look at it. I look at it like, had I been better earlier, I might have could have saved those guys their job.